if you were taught, or it comes to your mind, I am imagining this. This conversation is for you. My intention today, it is to help you understand the difference between imagination and your intuition. But more importantly, it is for you to recognize the body signs, like how your body is communicating with you to show you that it's intuition and not imagination. If you are new to me, I am Carol Soto. I am a healer. I am a spiritual teacher. My mission it is to empower empath. So you as an empath feel empowered, healthy, and happier. I do that through coaching, mentorship, teaching, and healing. Everything that I do goes back to healing. So let's talk about this. Most people think intuition is a clear voice. Most people think intuition is a vivid image or it's a dramatic knowing. There's different ways our intuition speaks to us. You understanding which is your dominant clair is important. And I'm going to explain this with an example. When I was in the process of healing and developing my intuition, in the process of receiving information, I wanted so hard to visualize. I wanted so hard that my clair be clear of seeing. I was trying so hard to imagine, to see all the different guided meditations to the point that my team in spirit was stop trying so hard. Because I was trying so hard, it was really discouraging. It was really me missing the point of the clair that is the strongest for me, the clair that I was receiving information and I was putting it on the side because I wanted it to see. My strongest clair is feeling. I receive 90% of all the intuitive information through feeling. But because I was ignoring it, I was getting frustrated. I was bringing doubt. And instead of spending the time and the energy of developing that communication, of receiving intuitive information through my feeling, it took me some time. And this is what I want you to avoid. There's different clairs. And I think in this group, the majority of you know them. But if you're new to clairs, there is the clairsentient. This is the clair of feeling, receiving information through feelings, through sensation, even through emotion awareness. Claircognizant. This is the clair of knowing. Believe it or not, if you are an empath, this is your primary of your secondary clair. Because of empath, the clair of knowing is one of the strongest one. Now, clair knowing requires a lot of trusting because you just know. But where is that information coming from? And that's what the imagination come in and where you start saying, I maybe imagine that. Another clair is the clair of hearing. This is when you hear inside. Sometimes it's outside, but the majority of the time it's inside of you a voice. And this can be one word, it can be a whole sentence, or it can be um, something that you hear. Now, the clear of hearing, sometimes we can doubt it because we think it's our mind. But with the clear of hearing, discernment is important because who are you hearing? Then there is the clairvoyance, which is a clear of seeing. When you see image, with you see those pictures, sometimes you can see the words, and it's all through your um, third eye. There's also two more that are not common. It is the clear of tasting and the clear of smelling. Sometimes they come forward, but they're less common that they are. So now that you know the different clairs, I want to name something that we forget. And the first symbol or the sign or the first thing that happened to you in your body is your yes and no. Before your mind jumps in, your body will give you a yes and no. And that yes and no comes with expansion of contraction. If your chest opens up, it means a yes. If you're starting like tight, right? Not in a dramatic connection, but you can feel that tightness. That's your body telling you no. And there's different ways that you can receive that yes or no. This is yes or no through your body. Now, a second sign that can come up is repetitive, right? Some thoughts that comes repeated, some nudge that comes repeated, some curiosity that keeps returning. And this happens without effort. That is your intuition. Intuition, majority of the time, feels neutral. It doesn't come with an emotion, it doesn't come with urgency, it doesn't come with an argue. It simply is. And the majority of the time, your intuition comes from a place of love, not from fear. So, why we doubted? Why the confusion? Why it feels that it's not intuition and it's imagination? Let's start with, since you were little, you were conditioned, you were taught that it is not real, that is your imagination. The majority of us, that when we talk about having a friend, we were also taught it's your imagination. It is your imaginary friend. And maybe that friend was a spiritual guide, or maybe that friend was a loved one. But because we were taught that was not real, and then maybe you imagine it, this is where we started doubting in our intuition. Or if you were like me, then I am 10 years old and I can see spirit, and it felt safe and calm to see my loved one, meaning seeing my grandfather, seeing my grandmother. But when I saw someone that even shouldn't be there, and being already conditioned that this is not real, that I made it, I closed my third eye. I closed my intuition. And I said at that moment, I do not want to see that because that's not normal. Here is where all that doubt show up when it comes to our intuition. Then growing up, if you trust it, then you keep trusting on that intuition, and it make it easier for you to continue trusting that gut feeling. But if you ignore it, then you were feeding that is part of me imagine it, That is not real. So I want to know, where are you at? Do you know all your players? Do you know your more dominant player? How do you receive intuitive nudges? Do you trust it? Here's a tip: the first 1 to 2 seconds of the information coming in is the information. Because after that 3 to 4 second, now it's your mind, and now you started bringing that ego perspective, and then you start doubting it, and you start not trusting it, and then you start questioning it. I hope all this makes sense and is resonating with you. Next week, we are going to continue with this series. We're going to talk about why we doubt when we know deep down that our intuitive is a gift and it's real. We're going to continue building this trust and remind you that your body already knows. It is more about building that relationship with your body, understanding that yes or no, it is key. And sometimes that yes and no is not feeling. It can be you seeing a green light or a red light.